Hello and welcome to this our next session of Yojana magazine, which is an issue of October 2020, and it is based on international relationship during the time of COVID-19. So previously we have discussed about the topics that has been covered in this magazine, and especially I have discussed about the editorial of this magazine, and now we are moving towards our main article, which is lead article of this magazine. You can see the heading Vasudev Kutumbakam, and the topic, or the title of the article is Indian Foreign Policy in the Time of Pandemic. First of all, let me discuss about this article, what you are going to get in this article. So, what I expect from this article is that we can get directly essay from this article in any kind of civil services exam. So, prepare this article. I will tell you what is to cover, which lines are important later on when I start this article. And secondly, what you will going to get from this article is that you will get all the coverage, or what we call this outline of our foreign policy. So if someone discuss or asks about the foreign policy of India, you will get exact point what to discuss and what not to discuss from this article. So no problem, you just cover this article and you will no need to read any kinds of notes, but what you have to do is that whatever points are discussed in this article, you have to comprehend them from different kinds of article which are published in newspapers, leading newspapers just like the Hindu, the Indian Express, or any other. You can cover them from Rajya Sabha TV discussions also. So keep watching. I am going to start this article now. So have a look on this article, which is describing this article in short. So what is given in block? First of all, I am going to read this. The current international environment is challenging. So whenever you will write your essay or your answer, the current position of the world is really challenging. So this line is very important in the perspective of India also, as well as the whole world. So we are living through the greatest shock to the international system since the Second World War. I have previously I have discussed this word with you, Second World War. I have told you in my previous lecture, this is the greatest shock that we have got because all the things are going very good, very excellently. The world was doing very good, and unexpectedly we got this disaster, and the world is facing these days. So the challenges are high these days. I am going to discuss about according to the article. Let me elaborate or read. What began as a health emergency has expanded into an economic disruption. This is very important line. Pandemic was started from the health emergency, but that health emergency has given us a trouble to our economy. As you are seeing today, the whole world is facing economic disruption, economic crisis, and what they call it a geopolitical shock. So these are the key terms that you have to remember to write down, and a social challenge of unprecedented magnitude that we haven't expect before, that we will got such a big shock from this pandemic. How we deal with this immense difficulties. So it said of how we are going to deal with this immense difficulties, and whether we are able to transform some of them into opportunities. So here what we are, this is a very positive thing when you will go on reading very good books. They say that turn your adversity or obstacles into great paths or great achievements. So we say that every adversity when it comes, or challenges when they comes, they turns into a big opportunities also. So how India will going to tackle these challenges and turn them into opportunities, this is very important. and will influence our future trajectory as a nation. So, here was the block which was important to read for you, and I will read almost complete article which is important for you. So, we will celebrate 75th year of independence in 2022. We have traversed a remarkable journey during these 7 decades. The challenges we have faced as our nation, both external and internal, have been and will continue to remain formidable. We do, however, have a list of achievements that is both considerable and impressive. So, during these days of after independence, we have faced many challenges, but we have achieved a lot in every field of development and progress. So, you can say that India has become a superpower in these days. So, let's move forward. India is a nation on the move. It means that India is growing day by day. India is moving forward. It is evolving and progressing along multiple axes. So, you see that on different dimensions, India is progressing at rapid rate. It is progressing in different sectors also in these days. The fundamental challenge facing Indian foreign policy is to ensure that India engages with international community in a manner that is both consistent and responsive to the contemporary realities. So, this is the very important line that you have to mark down or to write it down in your notebook whenever you are going to talk about or discuss about in your answer or essay. This is very important line, especially in the contemporary scenario. The fundamental challenge facing Indian foreign policy. So, what Indian foreign policy requires in these days that India should engage in the international community in a way that it should be very consistent and responsive to the contemporary realities. What are the realities of contemporary world? In other words, our foreign policy has to be one of continuity and change. So, see, this is very important term, continuity and change. The students who read history, they know that what is the importance of continuity and change. So, continuity, there are some aspects, some principles that we want that they are the basic principles of our nation's soul. So, we want them to be continue in future also, and there are some aspects also that they should be changed, or we look, or if they exist, then we have to start looking at them in a different way. Suppose I want to give you an example for that. Supposing that we believe in peace. We believe in peace, sorry. So, suppose that we believe in peace and harmony. So, wherever, if we are having already relationship with US, supposing that, and now we want to make new relationship with some other countries, but in our basics of our relationship, peace and harmony will be on the top. This is our continuity. But what we are changing that, according to the requirement of our nation, we are turning our relationship. Supposing that, for example, I am explaining you to some other country, this is the change. As I can give you an example that we were believing in the policy of look east policy. Look east policy, supposing that. But the current government has changed the term and it call it act east policy, which shows that India is more active to make relationship with the countries that they reside in east or they have situation in the east of India. So, we can see here again, the current international environment is particularly challenging. As we have said before, we are living through the greatest shock to the international system since the Second World War that began as a health emergency, has expanded into economic disruption, a geopolitical shock, and a social challenge of unprecedented magnitude. how we deal with these immense difficulties and whether we are able to transform India is therefore committed to globalization. So this is very important thing, and you should understand well that what is the intention of Indian foreign policy and India's intention towards the world. You have to that India supports intensely for globalization. So whenever it is asked from you in interview or any kind of answer or essay, you have to support globalization. Why? There is a quite good reasons for it to support that. Till now, we don't have any kind of institution or concept that supports so much the economy, expanding the economy, polity, society. So we think globalization is the best solution for the current scenario until we don't have any kind of future options. So this is the best one which combines or join the world together as we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So whenever it is asked from you, you have to support globalization. That I want to tell you. You should know the drawbacks of globalization also, no doubt, but you have to support it. Okay, so let's move forward. We believe, however, the pandemic has demonstrated the deficiencies and the limitations of the existing form. So, existing form, whatever the form we have in the world, it has demonstrated the limitation and deficiencies. Just you can see that the pandemic has spread across the countries just because of globalization, because people move from one place to another very rapidly, from one country to another. So we can see the limitations also in many area. That is out of the discussion because the lecture will become so big for you to listen. So let's move forward. It is driving by a purely economic agenda. So globalization it is driven with a purely economic agenda. So here we see Prime Minister in his address to the G20 has said that globalization should advance collective. So what we have our vision towards globalization, it is very important. It should not very limited to the economic agenda. We can see here the Prime Minister in his address to G20 has said that globalization should advance the collective interest of all humankind. See, this is very important. Collective interest of all humankind. You should write it down well and should be based on the fairness. So here what our Prime Minister says is very good thing on fairness, equality and humanity. So here we see that it should be human centric. Okay, so these lines, this paragraph is very important. What we think about globalization, that how globalization should be implemented in the world. It should not be limited towards the economic agenda. It should be expanded to human centric views. So India has been constructive actor in developing an international system that is human centric. We have worked together with partner countries in sharing our development experience. We have undertaken humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operation over the geographical relief operations over a geographical area spanning from the Pacific to the Atlantic. So these are some of the things that you must see here. We have assisted a number of our friends and partners. So they are discussing what we have done in these days. Friends and partners during the current pandemic, what we have done in these days, pandemic days, we have been a net security provider. So you will see here So let's see the block. It is important. We are a country with global interests. So this is very important for you. We are a country with global interests. Our interests are global. See, one thing, to support globalization. In these days, India has developed and progressed a lot. So day by day, our interests are becoming global. So we have one of the largest and most able diasporas. Just mean that people who are living in the different areas of world from our country are very able, and it is largest in number. So our economy and therefore our material well-being is plugged on the global supply chain. So this is also very important thing, global supply chains. Okay, you will get again and again this word, global supply chain. We have to become the center of this global supply chains. Wherever you want to write this, you should write this. Write it down. We are a powerhouse of service sector. So what we have is service sector. Our service sector is very strong. So you have to show this wherever you are writing or discussing. We look at the world as a borderless economy. This is very important thing. We look at the world as a borderless economy. That economy should not have any kind of border and with an interlinked marketplace. So the market should be interlinked from different areas. It's connectivity, that things should come from one place and then at one center it should go from another place, and from there it should go from another place. So it should be very interlinked market. People's things from different areas should come to different places. We have catalyzed an emergence of the international organizations with constructive forward-facing agendas such as International Solar Alliance and Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. We do not live in a moral vacuum. India's aspirations are not just material in nature. So this is very important. That should be shown to anyone that we only do not believe in material in nature. We are not material in nature. We do not believe. We are also spiritual country. Country is very spiritual. So you see that we believe just in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one, but also in principle of Nishkam Karma. Nishkam Karma means we believe that good should be done for the sake of good. This is very important line. We do good because we want good. Good should be done for anyone, everyone in the world and for the world. So our efforts to shape global thinking and project our perspectives have continued through the pandemic. The Prime Minister has participated. So here I want to take a pause here because I want to tell you that these are the basically meetings or summits where Prime Minister has taken part with the virtual meeting. So you just go and write it down or read it down. So this is not very important for me to tell you. So now come to next session here. Not section, next paragraph, which is important. So here we start the main sector of our policy. From where to start discussing foreign policy? Think one thing. From where to start? Just whenever you are talking about foreign policy of India, start from the neighborhood. Okay? Pados. So they haven't discussed about the different countries, that what kind of relationship we are having with Pakistan or Bangladesh or Nepal or Bhutan, but they have just discussed what is the nature of our relationship or what should be the nature of our relationship. So we give it neighborhood first term. Neighborhood first. It underlines the renewed primacy we attach to neighboring countries to comprehensively upgrade and strengthen our relationship. That we are trying continuously to upgrade. That we want to make better relationship and also strengthen them, make them strong. Ties with our neighbors receive the greatest attention as reflected in frequent high-level exchanges. So we want there should be high-level exchanges between our neighborhood. Significant improvements in connectivity. So we should have very good connectivity also with our neighborhood. Any kind of connectivity, there's a road connectivity or communication and different connectivities. Economic integration. We should have good economic integration with our neighborhood, that we want this. So this is the basic principle while we establish our international relationship with our neighborhood. So please note it down. These are very important things that I am explaining you. Then what is the important is that people to people contact. We encourage that the people to people contact should increase, just like if we talk about Bangladesh. Many of the Bangladeshi people have their relatives in India, also in Bengal, so their people to people contact should be very good, so that our international or international relationship should improve at that level, because people who are living in different countries, they support their government to improve their relationship with the other country. Supposing that we have always bitter relationship with Pakistan, because what you think is that most of the Pakistanis have a stereotype that India is not good country, and the same is here also. Ties with our neighbors receive the greatest attention, as reflected in frequent high level exchanges. So, people to people contact and special focus on neighboring countries in India's development partnership program. So, whatever kind of partnership program regarding development, we want that they should take partnership in or participate in that program. As we know that we support many countries for hydropower power programs and different kinds of road programs. We have demonstrated our commitment to working in South Asia, including during the pandemic and in the sub-regional BIMSTEC framework, inter alia, through continuous high-level engagement and through economic connectivity initiative. So this was the basic principle of our neighborhood policy. So if you want to go in detail, you should very be attentive towards the articles whichever is released or published on Pakistan relationship or Bangladesh relationship. You should be very aware what other country, our neighborhood country is doing with us or we are doing with them. So from here you have to expand, but the basics are the same, that whenever you are discussing, you should discuss these aspects which I have tell you. Again, I want to show you this paragraph is very important. So let's move forward. Look East has been upgraded to Act East. So I have discussed previously this. We have Act East. Act East means it shows our curiosity towards the Eastern nations. So which ties with ASEAN countries as being strengthened through improvements in road, maritime and air connectivity. With the special focus on connecting our northeastern states to these countries, we have a growing dialogue with ASEAN through multiple channels and rapidly growing multi-sectoral linkages with ASEAN members. So this means that we want to have good relationship regarding economic relationship, especially economic relationship and cultural relationship also, and any kind of relationship with complete countries of ASEAN as well as individual countries also, just like Myanmar, just like Laos, just like Singapore. We remain actively engaged in other formats such as East Asia Summit and ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus. So let's move forward. Now this is very important, which I am going to discuss. This will increase your marks here, but because a few students look at this side. And this is that in the last 5 years, Think West. This is about West Asian policy. Think West. Now we have to think about West Asia also, because in starting we have our policy towards West, means Western countries, just like America, Europe. So here we have started thinking about West Asian countries also. So this tells us that we have to think about them also, improve our relationship with them. And as we all know that we are having good relationship with Arab countries. So what is here? Think West, our outreach to Gulf and West Asian countries has become an increasingly important pillar of our foreign policy. Okay? Increasingly important pillar. Our engagement with Africa, both in political and economic terms, has also intensified. There have been 34 outgoing visits. You should read this. This is not very important. I will discuss only those things which are important for you, but you have to read all the complete article yourself. India US relationship. So, this is very important. India US relationship have been elevated to comprehensive global strategic partnership. This is the term that you should remember. In recent years, our engagement deep rooted. As you all know, that the President of America has visited India. Prime Minister of India has visited America in these days, marked by regular high-level dialogue, cooperation in multilateral, plurilateral and global platforms, and a diverse and substantial bilateral agenda. So here we see that what are the main areas where we have good partnership, or where we have a good relationship in the area of defense, security, counter terrorism. See, counter terrorism, we both are fighting with terrorism, so these are our common interests. Growing trade and investment, both direction, collaboration in R&D, innovation, healthcare and space are also crucial components of our agenda. Our strategic energy partnership with US has emerged as an important contributor towards our energy security. So this is the basic, and you have to keep your attention whatever our relationship, because the political scenario in America has changed. So we will get some more new things from America in coming days. So here we go again. The European Union is an important friend with whom we have many layered and vibrant relationship. So you see, now we have to discuss about Europe. So European Union, we target directly European Union here. But in these days, you have to see towards France also, what is going there. So you read it down. It is not so much important that I should discuss it. You go and understand it. I tell you much about the foreign relationship so that you can understand all the things clearly. Our relationship with Russia has not only deepened in traditional areas of cooperation like defense, space, nuclear science and technology. New areas of cooperation, just like energy, investment, cooperation between states. These year marks 20th year of India-Russia strategic partnership and 10th year of special and strategic partnership. So we have a separate article in this magazine on Indo-Russia relationship. So we will get more, we will know more about India-Russia relationship in that article. We face number of challenging situations in our immediate neighborhood. So this is the counterpart, that what are the problem in our relationship. So they show here that we are facing challenging situation in our immediate neighborhood. So just like Pakistan, you can say. We will work appropriately to resolve these problems. Our capacities and resources are growing and will always be prepared to adopt the necessary strategies and tactics when challenged. So this is very important thing that you have to learn this from this paragraph. What we will do whenever it is important, whenever it is needed, we will be prepared to adopt the necessary strategies and tactics when we are challenged. We are committed multilateralists. See this thing. We are committed multilateralists. It means that we believe in multilateralism, that the world should be multilateral. not unilateral, uni means one, not bilateral means the world should not be governed or we should not be of the aspect that we support only one country or two country or three. Our nature is to become multilateralist, that the world should be multilateral. Different countries should come together for to face different kinds of challenges in the field of different kind of progress and development. So we believe in that kind of principle in this way. So you should underline this line. India firmly believes that the path to achieve sustainable peace, see, sustainable peace means the kind of peace that should be everlasting or should be long lasting, and prosperity is through multilateralism. That India believes such thing, that this case, suppose that if we talk about terrorism, so terrorism is a problem which is a global problem. So to fight with terrorism, all the world should have, countries of the world should come together and fight with terrorism. Second problem that I can explain you here, that is climate change. So if we talk about climate change, this is not the problem of a single country. This is a problem of the complete world. So all the countries should come together and all the countries should come together and mitigate the climate change together. So what we want they want to say in this article, I am trying to explain you with the examples also. We believe that all the nation must join hands to address common challenges and achieve address. So you see that one thing that you have to understand is that this is the era of globalization. As we see at the time when India was becoming a nation, so the main reason of nationalistic view was that complete India was facing same kind of challenge, because in the British era, India was becoming a nation. So the problems of the country was the similar. In the same way, today, in the scenario that we are living is global. So whatever kind of problem are there in the world, every country will face it. So if every country will face it, every country will come together and should, they must come together and fight with this or participate in it. So we should have just like we can give other example also, just like poverty, hunger. These are all common goals of the world that we have to achieve. Or however, multilateralism need to present the reality of contemporary world. India believes that only reformed multilateralism with reformed United Nations. What we believe is that there should be reform in United Nations. This is a fact that you should write it down. Now, we have a challenging and busy multilateral, plurilateral agenda in the coming years. So, coming years will be more challenging. So, we should have an agenda, multilateral, in which all the country or maximum country should participate and give their opinions and views and their efforts. What effort they are going to give to face the challenges. We will join the UN Security Council for 2-year non-permanent term on January 1st, 2021. We are also due to hold the presidencies of G20, BRICS and SCO. These are the recognition of our enhanced global standing. So whatever we are going to get is the enhancement of our global position in the world. So countering terrorism. So here what I was discussing previously while teaching you this article, I was discuss about terrorism. Countering terrorism is one of the most important challenges. So what you will see that we should have different kinds of efforts, and from here you will get how to tackle terrorism globally. We should control over the who supports and fund and shelter terrorists, such kinds of countries. So you can read it now by yourself. Indian foreign policy must also contend with the non-traditional security challenges of the newer domains such as space. So there are still new kinds of threats. You can say that in space in cyber world. These are or biological domain. So these are new cases, new areas of threats which we have to be prepared in the future. All crises are followed by periods of growth. The crisis too will create opportunities. This is very good line. Crises always create opportunities. This you should write down to write a good essay or answer or whenever you are facing interview. We would like to be in a position to benefit from them. One of our foreign policy priorities is to make India, in the words of Prime Minister, what? Nerve center of global supply. I have told you before, nerve center of global supply chain. So, as we have talked before that Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbharta is not about seeking self-centered arrangements. You see, Atmanirbharta here is not that we should become self-reliant, an isolated country from the world which is not dependent on anyone else. It does not mean that. First of all, you should be very clear about the vision. So what does it mean is that its essential aim is to ensure India's position as a key participant in global supply chain. We should make something. We should be in the important in supply chain of the world where production is very important. So we should be somewhere here important that the world cannot ignore us in that supply chain. We should have a significance in the world. So this is what we call, we should be. So this is the vision here. You should understand this thing. So you can see here global market. They have talked about global markets, stock stakeholders, and different global businesses. You can go through them by your own self. India has demonstrated through the current crisis that it is responsible member of the global community. This is important thing. India is a global responsible member of global community. We believe in taking a far-sighted view that will stand us in good stead in the post-pandemic world. The pandemic produced an explosion in demand for drugs and hydroxychloroquine. So they have discussed about the medicines which were required for curing or supporting COVID-19. We have supplied it in different countries. They have discussed about that. So in 150 countries, you see. We have supported medically also. Then they have discussed about Operation Sagar, Operation Sanjeevani, rapid response teams in several countries, the linking of health professionals. They have discussed these things, what we have done in the time of COVID-19 at the world level. Then we deploy large amount of resources through development partnership. It is practical demonstration of the belief that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. The Indian model of development cooperation is comprehensive and involve multiple instruments including grant and aid, line of credit, capacity building and technical assistance. It ranges from, this is very good line. Commerce to culture, energy to engineering, health to housing, IT to infrastructure, sports to science, disaster relief and humanitarian assistance to restoration of preservation of cultural and heritage assets. This is very important. Last but not the least, sometimes you ask that how to conclude an article or essay. Here you can see that how skillfully the writer of the column has or article has summarize or conclude this. Last but not the least, providing timely, effective and efficient public services to our citizens, to our diaspora and majority and priority. This is very important thing. Timely, whenever someone need, we should provide the public services to our citizen and to our diaspora who is living in different countries. More than 1 million Indians have returned to India through Vande Bharat mission. This was achieved by land, sea and air. So we provided this public service to our diaspora or the persons, citizens who were caught there in the time of pandemic. This is the largest such logistical exercise undertaken in the recent past and highlights the ever present requirement of preparing for and responding contingencies. The pandemic is leaving a lasting imprint on all domains, including on the way we engage with the world. In the fast evolving environment, Indian diplomacy has shown the necessary agility and adaptability to effectively respond to the emerging challenges. We have responded effectively, very swiftly, while also cementing India's credentials as a responsible and constructive member of the global world. This is very important. We have shown to the world that we are responsible and also constructive. This is very important line for your conclusion. So I hope that you must have liked this article and my teaching in the way I have tried to explain you the article, the different scenarios and different dimensions that I tried to explain in this. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. A huge thank to all of you, and we will soon meet with the next article of this Yojana. Till then, goodbye.